Hey guys, what is up? Faz here. In this video, I will teach you how you can trade high impact news the ICT way. I know a lot of people are scared of trading high impact news, but after watching this video, that fear will be gone forever. Before we start, I want to quickly let you guys know about my course plus private Discord server. It is currently 49% off and priced at $97. It was initially priced at $200. So what do you get after doing the one-time payment of $97? You get private Discord server where I share my own trades, monthly course updates, and community of successful traders. For the course content, you get SMC basics if you're just starting out. Then we got the basic trading strategies, right, that require no daily bias. Then we got the ICT essentials like SMT and whatnot. And then we got the advanced trading strategies that include daily bias, market maker models. And then we got some proof here, like students passing the challenge, and proof some here. Let's get on with the video. All right. So here is the strategy, guys. We are going to trade the high impact news, but we have to look at other things as well. All right. We have to combine each and every single thing, right? So first of all, what you have to do is you have to mark out the weekly candle opening price, right? So when the weekly candle opens, right, it is going to be at, so you have to mark out the opening price of the weekly candle. Now, once you have the opening price of the weekly candle, what you have to do is you have to look for buy side liquidity and sell side liquidity on the 4-hour time frame. So you would be looking for buy side and sell side on 4-hour time frame. Okay, so I have marked out the buy side liquidity here, and then we have the sell side liquidity here. Okay, so that is step number 1 done. Make sure that you are marking the buy side liquidity and sell side liquidity to the left of the opening price. So this is the opening price right here, right? You have to look to the left side. You don't have to look at the latest liquidity. So let's say after the opening price created this liquidity level, right? You are not going to look at this. That is not what we are looking at. We are only looking at the old liquidity, right? Before the opening price, sell side liquidity and buy side liquidity. Now, I want the price to either take out the buy side liquidity or the sell side liquidity. So buy side liquidity could be any high or low, could be equal highs, right? Could be lows and whatnot. So over here in this picture, we have equal lows and equal highs. So now simply what I'm waiting for is to price to take out either the buy side liquidity or the sell side liquidity. So let's assume that in this example, price took out the buy side liquidity right here. So now once you have price taken out the 4-hour buy side liquidity, what you want to do is you have to drop down to 15 minutes time frame. So 15 minutes time frame, you have to drop down to 15 minutes time frame once you have a purge on the liquidity. Right now, here's the step. You have to look for a market structure shift. Now what it's going to do is going to confirm the direction. It's going to confirm your bias. Okay, so you have to look for a 15 minutes market structure shift. Once you have the market structure shift, now that is when the high impact news is going to come into play. Okay, so now you will be looking at the Forex factory and you would be looking for high impact news for that specific pair or asset. Okay, so if you're looking at Euro USD, you would be looking at Euro and USD news. If you're looking at AUD USD, you would be looking for news based around AUD and USD. And if you're looking at assets, you would be looking at USD news. Okay, so once you have a market structure shift on the 15 minutes time frame, now you have to wait for price to create some form of liquidity, right? Now, it could be a high, right? Or it could simply be something like this. So price can either create a high like that, a liquidity level, or it can create a high like that. So once price has created some form of liquidity on the 50 minutes time frame, now you would be looking at the Forex factory, right? You'd be looking at the news period. Now let's say price is currently here, right? So once you have the market structure shift, is that when you have to look for the high impact news, right? If it is not on the same day, you can wait till the next day starts. Now, what we are simply looking for is waiting for a high impact news day, right? High impact news time. So let's say this is when the high impact news is coming into play, okay? So when the high impact news on the 15 minutes time frame, okay, this is very crucial. The first 15-minute candle has to take out the liquidity, right? So let's say at 8:30 there is a news event. I will be still on the 15 minutes time frame. Now I'm looking for a purge on this buy side liquidity, right? In order for the price to continue towards the downside. We have a market structure shift. Our bias is now bearish because we have taken out, we had the manipulation, right? So we had the weekly manipulation and now we are looking for a weekly expansion to the downside. Now, once the news even starts on the first 15-minute candle has to take out the liquidity, right? The first candle. I will give the news 15 minutes to take out the buy side liquidity. If the news fails to take out the liquidity in the 15 minutes, right, I will be looking for the next news day because that news didn't bring manipulation or volatility into the markets. Now, once you have a liquidity swept on the first candle of the news, so let's say the news was at 8:30, you would be on 15 minutes time frame. And once that 15-minute candle, the first 15-minute news candle takes out the liquidity, right, you will drop down to 2-minute or 1-minute time frame. Now, I personally recommend that you stick to 2 minutes time frame, but you can trade with the 1 minute. The reason why I stick on 2 minute is that it's somewhat more reliable than the 1 minute time frame. So now, once that news takes out the liquidity here, what you're doing is you're looking for a simple market structure shift on the 2 minutes time frame. You're looking to take your entry. You can go for 1 to 3, target this level, or you can use the opening price as your target level. Very, very simple, guys, and this is how basically you trade the high impact news, right? You cannot like simply the thing is that you are not exactly going to trade the high impact news, but we are going to use high impact news as a fuel, as a volatility, right? Because on the news day, on the high impact news days is when you're going to experience the most manipulations. So now the simple thing is, if price wants to move downside, it needs fuel, right? And that news event is gonna drive the price towards the buy side liquidity. Price takes out the buy side. Now, once price takes out the buy side on the 15 minutes time frame, all you're doing is dropping down to 1 minute or 2 minute time frame. So first of all, we mark out the weekly candle opening price. Afterwards, we are going to use 3 time frames. So that's going to be the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, we're going to mark out our buy side liquidity and sell side liquidity. And then the second time frame is 15 minutes time frame. And that's where we have to look for a market structure shift after a liquidity sweep on the 4-hour high and low. Right, so price sweeps the high on the 4-hour time frame. Then on the 15 minutes time frame, we're gonna look for a market structure shift. Once you have the market structure shift, now we are not going to take the trade directly from here, okay, from the auto block, or from that is gonna be a little risky because price can simply just go up and keep going up, right, even after market structure shift. Now, if price holds till the news event, creates a liquidity pool, right, something like that, or it could create something like that, right? You have A, B, C, right? And then the news event, the first candle of the news on the 15 minutes time frame takes out the liquidity. It just have to wick out. It could just literally go a little bit above it, 1 tick, and I would consider it a liquidity sweep. Once you have the liquidity sweep, all you are looking for is then you have to drop down to 1 minute or 2 minute time frame, look for a market structure shift, entry from the breaker block, fair value gap, auto block, whatever your entry model is, and then you can target 1 to 3, 1 to 2, or this weekly candle opening price. Make sure to take some partials when you're going to target the weekly candle opening price. I only take 1 to 2 and I'm out of the markets. So let's move on to the examples now. All right, guys, so here is example number 1. You must watch this example very carefully because if you miss out something, then this might not work for you. All right, so I'm on the weekly time frame. So we are going to study this weekly candle, okay? So let's mark out the opening price of this weekly candle, which is going to be this, right? Now let's go to the 4-hour time frame and see what happened. So this is when the weekly candle opened, right? Now, to the left side of it, you have to mark out buy side and sell side. So let's mark out the buy side liquidity. From here onwards, I can clearly see that we have this relative equal highs here, right? We have this high and this high close to it. So that is a buildup of liquidity. You could have marked out this high alone as well, or this high alone. Now for the sell side, I have these equal lows here, right? This and this right here. And then we also have a failure swing here as well. Now we have taken out the liquidity here, right? Now let's drop down to 15 minutes time frame and see what happened. Now that is when we took out the liquidity level, right? Now we are waiting for a market structure shift. So you can see that we have a purge here, and then we have a market structure shift right around here. Now once we have the market structure shift, as you can see over here, now we will be going to the Forex factory and we'll be looking for the news event. So we do not have a news on Tuesday, so we're not going to trade that. However, on September 13th, we have a news event at 8:30, right? So we are waiting till September 13th, 8:30 a.m. New York time. Now let's go here. We have a market structure shift, so now we can simply look for a manipulation event, right? So as long as this high is not violated, we can look for that pattern. That is the news event pattern, all right? So going to the Wednesday on 8, let's go on 8:15. So this is the 8:15 candle, right? Now once you're here, you simply mark out your buy side liquidity, right? We will be looking for buy side because our overall bias is to the downside. We had a market structure shift after taking out the buy side liquidity. Okay. On the 8:30, remember I said the first candle must take out the liquidity, right? So now let's drop down here. You can see price took out the liquidity here. Now let's drop down to 1 minute time frame and see what happened. So we took out this liquidity level as well. And now what we would be looking for is a market structure shift. Now I would personally consider this as a market structure shift because this is a low, but the indicator didn't print it. So let's just wait for this level to be broken. And once that is broken, that is our lower time frame market structure shift. So now everything is aligning perfectly. We had a purge, first of all, on the 4-hour buy side liquidity. After that, we looked for a market structure shift on the 15 minutes time frame. Once we had the market structure shift on the 15 minutes time frame, we simply waited till the news event. Now, once the news event occurred, we took out buy side liquidity once again on the 15 minutes time frame, and now we are looking for our entry, which is after the 1 minute market structure shift or 2 minute market structure shift. So right here, we have a shift in the market structure, and as you can see, this is the last bullish candle that took out liquidity, and after that we had a market structure shift. So that is going to be my auto block here. That is from where I'm going to take my entry. My entry would go here, stop right above the high, and I would simply target this level here. So let's go to 50 minutes time frame now, and let's see how this plays out. So that is when we got our entry, and if I play this through, it goes on for some time, but eventually it hits our take profit level. Now, this is very, very mechanical, guys. If you think about it, you're only looking for, a set of rules, and this should work for you like a charm. So, let's see what happened here. Okay. Let's see this huge wick. What was the reason behind it? So on Thursday, which is here at 8:15, we had a news. And what did the news do? It took out buy side liquidity once again and then expanded to the downside. So do you see what I'm talking about here? Once your bias is bearish, right? So in this case, our bias was bearish because we took out buy side liquidity, right? We follow the set rules, then we look for manipulations, and those manipulations are gonna eventually happen during the news event, and we're gonna see an expansion to the downside. Let's move on to the example number 2. All right, guys, so here is example number 2. I'm looking at USD CAD on the weekly time frame, of course. So now we're gonna study this candle around here. So let's go to the 4 hours time frame and study what happened. So this is the opening price, right? This is the opening candle. We want to mark out buy side, and we want to mark out the sell side to the left of it. So we have sell side liquidity just right here. So we took out sell side liquidity. So we are going to study what happened, what exactly happened, right? So let's go to the 15 minutes time frame. Oops, my bad. Okay, so that is when we took out the sell side liquidity, but we didn't have a market structure shift, right? We didn't take out this high. So we waited again, and then right after that, what we had was a shift in the market structure, right? Now, our rules are met. We are only going to look for high impact news days. So 25th July, right? On 25th July, we have a news at 10. So let's see what happened at 10, just here. Oh yeah, see, at 10, this candle didn't take out sell side liquidity. So we are not going to trade now because I want the first candle to take out the liquidity, but nothing was here. There was no volatility. All right. Now, when is the next news? So on 25th, we had a news. Now remember, we're not going to trade the PM news day, right? So the day where we have, if you only have a PM news on a specific day, we're not going to trade that day. Okay. We're not going to even look at the PM news. Now, our next news day is Thursday at 8:30. Right? So I'm looking at Canadian and USD news, and at Thursday 8:30 we have the news. So let's go and see what happened at 8:30 exactly, right? We have a shift in the market structure here, and going here at 8:15, you can see this is the 8:15 candle. So I would mark out my sell side liquidity. We are only going to look at the sell side liquidity because our bias is bullish, remember? So we took out this liquidity at 8:30 to be exact. Now let's drop down to 2 minutes time frame. I would drop down to 2 minute time frame, but since I haven't shown you the example for 2 minutes, here's one. Now we want to look for a market structure shift, right? So now what you can see, we have a shift in the market structure, consecutive bearish candles to the downside. That is your auto block. Absolutely beautiful. Just longing here. Stop goes right above the low. And this is the opening price, I believe. We could have targeted the opening price, or we could have gone for 1 to 3 as well. So extremely beautiful, guys. I mean, you will not find this setup on a single pair every single week, but if you choose a couple of pairs and assets from that bucket, you will find at least 3 to 4 setups per week. Okay, this is a very, very high win rate trading strategy, guys. If you know how to, if you understood everything, you're gonna become a monster. In the next video, I will teach you an easier strategy based around high impact news. This is somewhat complicated, but if you can get used to it, if you can understand this, then you don't need anything else. All right, this requires a little bit of practicing. You will not just become, like a expert in this strategy by just watching this video once. You have to watch it a couple of times, back test, forward test, right? And then everything is gonna click. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye. Mwah.